Let me get the link posted for y'all. Still posting. All right, so 44.88. There we go. And posted. Posted. All right, we'll get started with the disclaimer here real quick, and then we'll roll. Material information presentation for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendations. Any and all statements made on this channel are the sole opinions of Options Millionaire and should not be taken as financial advice. No decision should be made on this material shown here on this channel. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more of the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost or jeopardized without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Trading is one of the riskiest and most difficult tasks one can undertake and must be approached with extreme caution. Do not invest any money that you cannot afford to lose. No recording without the express written permission of the NFL on all Sunday night broadcasts. Now that's all done. We'll get started. So yeah, YouTube, I don't know if you caught that, but I just jumped into a 44.70 put rejection off of the prior pivots. Now why was I looking at a 44.70 put? Why was I looking at a put in general after a little bit of green? Because of this right here. What is that line? It is the prior morning low. This is a level that I am constantly looking at, the high and the low. We had the high come up right here. We just come on back down. We had a breach of it after another test. We come back down, bounce off of it once, come back up, fail it. Now this is the retest failure. So the morning pivots, especially a high volume morning pivot on something like CPI is going to have a high volatility, high volume. So we came back up, retested it. This is game time here for the buyers. And then of course we'll come back down. What's up with that order sitting at 4,400 for 17? Yeah, it's been on there for 2 weeks. So looking at it, that's something we've been paying attention to now, and I don't know if it's going to be transacted today or tomorrow. I will say, if the sellers are going to do it, this is the perfect setup for it after the complete CPI reversal. On down to 4,400. Not to mention, we do have PPI tomorrow. And we don't want to get our PPI slapped tomorrow, so it's possible to come on down to 4,400. We have 44.80 right now, 44.70, 44.50, and on down. What's up, Shreet? You're up 25% on your account. Nice. I appreciate you. I appreciate the feedback, man. It's good stuff. I love to hear people learning and growing and understanding the VPA concepts. In terms of liquidity, we have additional liquidity here at 44.80 and 44.70. CVD is negative 20 Gs. 20 Gs CVD. So we have a lot of negative action here. We have a complete CPI reversal and on down. Everyone's changing their avatars. Yeah. What's up, Dan? How you doing? All right, we have 44.80. So if I'm looking for a continued trend down here, which on the 15-minute, it's incredibly bearish. I think we have one green candle that's substantial. That was the bounce off of macro levels, which was also the CPI bounce. So if you look at this stuff, you know exactly where we're going to play out. Look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ is clean as anything. It's playing out perfectly because it did the same thing. Prior pivots during the trading session itself, which is right here. Complete retest on NASDAQ, and we have the big level at CPI bounce. So CPI come out, we consolidated right at the CPI bounce as buyers trying to figure out, all right, is it time to go down lower? And we transact lower, coming on down, 15,215. So these levels alone, right now I'm strictly talking about these levels. Now these levels are not something I came up with. It's just strictly, I'm letting the market tell me where to pivot these levels. That's it. All I'm doing is observing where the market wants to have a high value pivot. And I plot them. So I plot those on there, and I just observe the price action around there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then I incorporate VPA and, of course, Bookmap to track liquidity, and it helps me with a little bit more clarity. Right now, we're right on top of S1. You see there's a lot going on at S1. S1 is a historical pivot Not to mention we have a CPI pivot here. We have a couple more pivots down here, and we're hanging out at 44644 with no buy pressure whatsoever. I've been implementing the morning range video and reading level to level. I just also bought Bookmap, and I've been getting more consistent wins. I love it, Wyatt. I'd love to hear it. Appreciate it, Bill. Thank you. Up 10%. Thanks for your lessons. Awesome stuff. I love the feedback, man. Good stuff. So, from a VPA standpoint, it's a strong trend down. Strong trend down. We have a very negative CPI or CVD. We have strong pressure to the downside, just coming along down. We just put a new low in right here. We've got, let's see, VIX is spiking up 1611. It looks like the VIX has come back and forth between red and green. Apple's got a little bit of a green. Amazon does. Microsoft does. But a beautiful, beautiful move down. Beautiful, beautiful move down. Oh, and banana. I didn't just take a trade. I'm in a trade, but I didn't just take one. What's up, Morris? Greetings. Thanks for being here. I will crash the stock market to zero on the 5th of October 2023. Make sure you get your massive shorts and puts. I'll make sure I take a note. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So what I want to track here is continuation into the upcoming power hour. Obviously, we still have 2 hours until power hour, but every single time the buyers try to make a move, the sellers are stepping into defending. We don't have any substantial buy volume to tell me reversal time yet. We're taking out all major pivots. We've already taken out the day's pivot. We've taken out overnight pivot. The next target is going to be yesterday's pivot, which is 44.78 on ES. NASDAQ would have 15.147 on down. So we need to watch the next couple of candles here, be very patient, watch the volume come in here, and watch. So right now we are just kind of navigating the prior CPI pivot still. We dipped below it. Now we're retesting it again, trying to come along. In terms of liquidity, we have a little guy up here, 44.05, but they're definitely rolling this down. You see the liquidity has shifted lower all day. 44.80, 44.70, 44.50, 44.05. This guy's been there for 2 weeks. We'll see when that's going to be transacted. If CVD is very red, 18 and change. We have NASDAQ is 15.224 with a CVD of about negative 700 here. There's no real stops or icebergs. I took a put off of the retest of the morning lows. It worked out really well, really quick. And it's eating into my profits with this green, which has been the name of the game all freaking day. All day. What do we have? We're dojing out here, 44.92. Watch the volume, 15-minute chart. If you are also on YouTube, we are streaming in the Discord server as well, the Bookmap Discord server. I'm streaming in there, co-streaming right now as well. If you'd like to have the live audio, it's not delayed. You're welcome to do that. Apple's coming up 178.37. This bounce that's occurring right now, although not too strong, just shows how strong this level is overall. Because that was a high volume, very quick drop of about 20 points, and so far it's immediately being bought 44.93. So even among all of this selling today, the buyers still just won't let it go. Still. We've had a high volume spike, so the sellers came in about 11.45. We had a high volume move down. We've got GEX levels and open interest is pretty high, up to the 448, 449, with the highest being 457. So we're below all those major GEX levels. And now what these buy-ups are telling me so far is that with the move lower, these are buys to get us back to delta neutral, because all of the open interest is significantly higher here. So all of these short positions are deep in the money, which is degrading deltas, which is showing the buyers are going to start buying eventually. Got excited? Nice. What's the white line that shows up on my SPY chart? Oh yeah, I forgot that you'll update like that. That is the morning low for SPY. The white line is the morning low here. I'll label it for you. Morning low. Gabagoo. Autosave. There you go. Don't jinx the boom. So coming on down, we have 44.91. We have S1 level, which is a significant level as well. Oh man. Just being patient here. Just being patient. Top wicking still. We have red candles. Just bounce, fall, bounce, fall, bounce, fall. S1 is pivotal. Yeah, I'm still holding some puts here. 44.70 puts. I'm looking for one push down here. Another push down, I should say. This is one of those days, man, we just can't hold the puts long enough. Like, you got to hold through the chop. I've already been popped out of two different trades today that would have been substantially profitable. The call, I'd pretty much a perfect exit. The put, the first one, obviously would have been far more profitable if I would have held through all the chop. So I want to be very patient with this trade. Although the second I'm patient, this thing's going back up to 497. My first $3,000 day today. Beautiful, Quintanilla. Awesome. Your knowledge definitely helped on some decisions. Keep it up. I love it. Keep it going. Is Bookmap data real time? It's as real time as that me and you are going to be able to have. Technically, it is delayed, but it's as real time as possible for retail traders. I'll say that. What's Bookmap? Yeah, right here. Crazy. Do you think it could also be a range day from now on? Well, from a definition standpoint, this is technically a trend down day, because we put in a high, we put in a low, and now we've broken through that low and are putting in consistently lower lows. So this does meet the definitions of a trend down day. Not too. I mean, it's obviously strong trend from the highs, but if you're talking about an overall range, we are just barely below the morning low here. Just so this is indicative of a trend down. I don't know how far it's going to go, and we have down here this level 444.95, but you see that the buyers just do not want to let this level go. We keep on holding this level. So right now I'm just trying to track the volume, which is pretty light. I am expecting some sort of bounce into tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen this afternoon or not. Obviously, it's been a pretty strong trend. I'm sitting pretty on these puts, but I would really like to push lower. I'd really like to push lower. So and this, you can look at this chart and you see the difficulty of being a short in the market. Look at the difference between the buy rallies and the sell-offs. The buy rallies have very little drawdown, very little red, stair step up, stair step up. The drawdowns have sustained consolidation but falling off, and then all of these bounce intertwined because the buyers always love to buy the dip. So that's where you have to be patient if you're holding puts. I'm much more comfortable being in calls than I am puts because the puts always bounce and there's a lot more patience and a lot more analytics. So that's the nature of this market here. I've took a put up here, it's sitting pretty. Now I need to figure out, is this going all the way back up to the morning low to retest, or if it's going to reject and head lower like we have been all day. I don't have a lot of options data to go off of because all of the major levels are higher into the 449, 448. Let me hit a refresh on this data here. I'll get you 445 is shifted down for today's expiration. So 445. Bookmap is sitting right here. Now, in terms of Bookmap right now, I don't see any appetite for higher liquidity yet. It's all shifting lower, just like it has been all day long. All day long. I'd have to. You talking about SPY and Bookmap? I'd have to look. Disney's grinding up. Yeah, so it looks like Disney showed a lot of conflicting data. I mean, obviously, people are loving the fact that they're going to tighten up the password stuff and have more paying members, but they also showed one of the largest drops in subscribers ever. So I still am bearish on Disney long term. Well, long term, obviously, they're going to go back up in 10 years or whatever, but I still think they're going to put in new lows before any kind of bounce. Before any kind of bounce happens. Fundamentally, they're flawed. From a chart standpoint, it's flawed, and the institutions aren't buying it. There's another red candle being bottom wicked, so still does not want to drop. Let's see what happens. I've been making money selling cover calls on Disney. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Disney will come back. Yeah, it's all a matter of time and volume. And tracking the time and volume. It's 15,219 liquidity. The book has been heavily skewed today to the downside up until the morning. The morning had about 44.50 liquidity, 44.45, 44.50, and then we transacted that, and since then, it's been all lower. There's even larger levels below. I think the last hour of the day is going to have some nice volatility. I would love to put another low in here with these puts, but so far no dice yet. We're just kind of trying to be patient. Price action is pretty slow. Thoughts on Disney end of year? I don't know. I don't have any price predictions on them. All I'm looking for, I've got a volume alert set on Disney. If I start to see institutional buy volume come in, that is a sign for me to start accumulating. Why would me, little old jabroni retail trader, want to start buying if the institutions aren't buying? If institutions don't have value on that chart, then they're not going to buy. So I want one of two things to happen. I want politicians to start buying Disney, or I want institutions to start buying Disney. I want that old Pelosi shuffle, and then I'll start buying. They're a lot smarter than I am. $44.90. Can we get $44.80? I was about to make a Pelosi joke. Sorry. Took the wind out of your sails there. How do we know? Volume. Right down here. These candles right here. So if you go out to Disney, I don't want to flip over the chart right now because I'm in an active trade. If you go to the yearly chart on Disney, the daily chart, which shows the daily candles on the year, on Disney, and look down here, you'll see the volume. If I see a big green volume candle with a nice little bottom wick, that's an indication of institutions going long. I would say they're smarter than me, just those fools cheat. Yeah, they're more in the know than me. More in the know. All right, there's another red candle being bottom wicked, so the seller still won't let this thing go. It's going to take volume to shift this lower, and that's what I'm waiting on. I'm trying to be patient. We still have liquidity pulling lower. We have a nice rejection where we should off morning lows. I would love to take out the POC there and head on down and start wiping out lower S levels. If we can come down to transact 44.80, I'll probably start scaling out there, and then come on down, we'll shift on down to 44.70. You have to be aware of 44.80 though, because 44.80 is the weekly lows. So 44.80 is going to put up a fight if we get down there. I'm actually surprised BABA is not higher than 100. They posted a massive earnings beat. There's a good thing about selling covered calls on Disney is that the grind up is slow and allows me to adjust my strikes up each week. It's a great stock for covered puts and calls. Love it. All right, now we're shifting lower here. Can we get 44.80? Be aware of the 44.80 zone. That's prime time profit taking if you are holding a downside position. Puts or shorts right now, you need to be looking at taking profit at or around 40.80. That's 7 points down from now on a yes. That's weekly lows. Just like we rejected the crap out of weekly highs roughly 3 hours ago, we're going to have something happen at weekly lows. I don't know if we're going to bounce off of it or if we're going to go through it, but there's something. We're at least going to have something happen there before we continue on down if we do. And that's a good time to start trimming positions. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Tech still has some to go if it's going to hit the weekly. Yep. So Tech has got on down to 15,146, so they still have about another 60 points. ES has about 7 points. 10 points. All right, here we go. Now my puts are really starting to pick up some steam here. We just can't bottom wick. Let's get through this zone pivot without bottom wicking. Trader J Spicy today, man. Living up to his name. There we go. New low of the day right there. New low of the day. TLT is back under 97 into the 96 range. VIX is skyrocketing again into the 16 zone. And now we're coming in, putting in lows here. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'm going to pull up my order form to start selling some of my puts because this is a very profitable position now, 44.83, and we're about to take out 44.80. I haven't yet hit 100%. I'm still about $2 away from 100%. Trying to get down there. That's the problem with zeros, is that even though I've had a great move, early in the day the premiums are doing beautiful. Now that I've had such a big move, I'm still not at 100%, even though it's moved precipitously. It's because of theta is starting to eat up the positions last hour of the day. So that's what I really need to be cognizant of. I just sat through about 20 minutes worth of consolidation. And if I want to hit 100%, I got to start eating through these 44.80s. Otherwise, I need to start switching over to at least one DTEs or futures in general. We still don't have the sell volume to come through here. You see, like right here, we don't have a big spike in sell pressure to get through here. So now that we've broken through supports, right now the low volume test is completed. Now I need volume to extend away. So the low volume test has been completed. We broke through with not any real spikes in buy volume, so that's a check mark for the sellers. Now that we're below the support, now we need high volume to start pulling us away. The freight train is now rolling. Now they need to start putting a little more steam in, put a little more coal in there, burn the fire, and start pulling this train away. That's why we're sitting there bottom wicking, because the sellers aren't hitting it. 44.87. Still can't get through the 44.80. Can we take out the weekly pivot? 20,000 negative CVD. So we have a major CVD red. We have 44.87, and this is my target, my target, 44.80. We still don't have buyers hitting the tape. We are clearly in a downward channel. It's just moving so slow. I entered a SPY 448 put when it reversed at 451. I had to get to work, so I exited when it bounced. I could have bought lunch for JabroniCon. It's all right. That happens, man. Did you notice Ford and GM showing no strength to buy? I haven't. Those aren't something that typically don't show up on my radar. Oh man, what are we doing? TLT is still rolling off. VIX is still climbing. As long as the VIX is doing what it's doing here, I'm still going to be looking for positional downside into 44.80. The daily chart looks nasty after this move down. Nasty. $44.86. Oh man, Prima's still high on zeros. They are, yeah. Still bottom wicking. That's all I'm watching right here. Very slow movement. Can't get through the 44.80. The sellers aren't really stepping up to the plate. Just in a slow downward trend. Just like we see the slow grind up days, do we have strong sell pressure or do we just have a lack of buyers here? Maybe initiated by a lot of sell pressure, but the volume has definitely dropped off, and we're not probably going to see it for another 40 minutes or so. So they're just kind of dipping their toes lower here, just tracing down to the next demand. And we'll know when we hit demand because we'll have a bottom wick with volume. One more push down and I'll hit my 100%. If we can get it. Just kind of pinned. You see them building even more here? They're still stacking more liquidity, so we still have more order flow for this 44.80. And the CVD is not coming up. So there's a couple of things you can peg your eyes to here if you're trying to track the Bookmap. One, watch this CVD line. If you start to see spikes in the CVD here and the buyers are trading the tape, we'll start to see more bottom wicks, and maybe not a good time to start going for 44.80. But it's still staying down. We still have negative, very negative CVD. The sellers are still controlling the book here, and the skew is still to the downside. I don't see any liquidity shifts up higher. If I start to see stuff coming in here, that is time to start possibly looking for a bounce. I don't see any shift higher. I see the book skewed lower, 44.80. I see the CVD still pointing down. I don't see any major stops here. So all I need is a quick drop on here to fill that 44.80. I'll get my 100%, and then I'll start scaling. That'll test the weekly low. That'll check a lot of boxes here. A lot of boxes. Just can't get through it. So V reversal here or major selling. I mean, yeah. To put it basically, yeah. Right here. The markets are yeah, they're barely red on the daily for sure. I mean, we had a pretty big drop, but it was off of highs too. So yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. You're definitely welcome, Avi. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. All right, here's another follow-up red candle. Can we get down to the 44.80s? Look at them putting more liquidity on at 75. See that? CVD is still growing more red. It's still pointing down. We have no liquidity up top. We have this guy shifting 44.75. Let's take a look at NASDAQ real quick. They had this guy come on and off, took that off, put it on here, 175. Coming on down. Here's another attempt at lows. See this? Another attempt? They still can't do it though. Still bottom wicking. Yeah, we have major support coming up. Right up here, weekly lows. That's what I'm saying. That's my scale out target. I've already got my order form up to start closing out contracts just in case we bounce before. Because they probably know that everyone's going in for that weekly low. Where's SPY right now? 445.95. I would not be surprised to see this thing tap 445 and then aggressive bounce off of it into tomorrow, 445. This range on SPY is the same the past few days, maybe more than a week. I track the ranges for my spreads. I love it. Yeah, this is that typical. This is obviously we're still defending the same range, but this is different than the last couple of days. Last couple of days has been early weakness, late power. Now we're having early power, late weakness. If this holds into the day, so here's a new end. Here's a new day, or a new low. I'm sorry, 44.84. We just put in a tick low, coming on down. Let's see if we can get 44.87. Still dropping. I've got my order form up and ready to go here. I'm approaching 100%. I need one more push lower if we can get it. DSY is climbing. VIX is skyrocketing. A lot of pressure here in the VIX. Qs have had similar move in the past 4 or 5 sessions. Yeah, same thing with SPY. So don't bounce me. Don't bounce me. Don't tase me, bro. Look at this iceberg. So watch this iceberg. We're about to have our little drop down into 44.80. Watch this. So watch this iceberg. We're sticking to it. They're going to pop this iceberg here from 333. We'll watch it grow. We'll absorb. We'll have a quick drop. Grab that 44.80 liquidity zone. So watch this guy right here. 333. CVD kind of rolled back over there into the, I think what was our lowest there? 21.7. 21.7. Remember, tomorrow we have PPI, so if you are swinging trades, be aware. PPI. I have work soon, so I'm looking for buyers to hit at this support, but do a long position to hold it for the day. You just set your stops on it. You're good. So watch this iceberg right here. 333. Free, free, free. What's up, Mikey? What's the lure of that iceberg? So, icebergs are, we know what icebergs are. They're somewhat of a hidden order. We don't know the full extent of that order. So someone out there wants to hide their positions or their position sizing, so they put on this iceberg here. Now, it just being there doesn't necessarily make it a magnet, but it's how the price action reacts to it. So the fact that we stuck on here, if it comes back down and we start to see this thing pump, 333 up to 500, 1,000, so on and so forth, that's the breach imminent. That's when things are going to start to look a little heavy, and then it's going to require a lot of volume, and it shows in 10. When they start pumping that volume, it shows in 10. Yeah, bonds are getting crushed. 69 and down. TLT right now. Let me check the flow here. The flow caught the morning. If you were tracking the options flow, it showed a lot of put buying at the top of that rally, which I missed until after the fact because I'm a jabroni. So there's a lot of put buying in SPX right now. Phenomenal amount. Qs are the same thing. Apple's put buying, Tesla put buying. Amazon just dumped a bunch of calls, a lot of calls selling. And we're still holding. SPX hasn't dipped below this area since July. It's been holding strong for the past few weeks. Yeah. Since the last CPI, actually. Yeah, right in this area. What does liquidity look like here on Bookmap? Right now on ES, it's lower. 44.40 to 40 down to 44.70. My main focus is on this little group right here. The iceberg, the 44.80 block, which is about 700 orders, give or take. So watch this iceberg. As the price action is coming on back to it, you're going to see the price action grind against it. As you start to see it grind against it, you're going to see this number start to fluctuate. Then you're going to see a big red bubble, and then it'll blow down. You see it start to move, then it'll blow down. I don't know how far it's going to go. I would assume the 44.80 territory. It all depends on how big this is and how much Momo it needs to come through. The bigger this is, the more Momo it needs to get through this level. So watch the 349. You see it's already popped up once. There's 356, 360. The longer it sticks there, the higher the chance thing's going to pump. It'll have a big red bubble, a little pepperoni here, and we'll look for 44.80. So watch this guy right here, 360. 424. 459. 478. 481. 95. 500. It's pumping, and I would say a couple of moments here, it's going to breach. We need the volume. 511. Give me my 100%. Give it to me. 513. Come on. Now. 513. I need the pump. You see how it's sticking to it? It's not coming off of it? That's signs that it's going to pop. That's the signs it's going to pop. It's not coming off of it. $513. It's not incredibly big. You know, I'd love to see the 1500, 2000 to get confident, but it's making its way up there. 517. There's 520. Here's another push. 549. Still no pressure. It's like teasing me. It's teasing me. How do you get those to display on Bookmap? I need the MBO package to get the stops and icebergs indicator, which requires Global Plus. But it's a huge help. Huge help to understand what these orders are. I'm not getting the big liquidity pump that I'd like on those. I'd like to see that thing roast to like 100 or 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, which we may eventually get, but so far it's just kind of barely creeping as the icebergs are hitting the tape here. I do expect a bottom wick in this area, so I would say once we breach this, be looking to scale out if I were you. That's what I'm going to do, not financial advice. But what I'm going to be doing is looking to scale out once we breach, because I will expect some sort of bottom wick in this area. So I would expect once this thing pops, we'll have the big red bubble absorb, come down, bottom wick, somewhere in this area. Now, I don't know if it's going to come all the way back up, but I know there's too much going on in this 44.8 not to have some sort of bottom wick area, not a bottom wick activity. What do you use to know option buy, sell for stocks? What do you mean? Like when to take an option? It's all about through VPA, volume price analysis, using my tools, experience. Do you post live daily trades? I do. We discuss our live trades. I don't post scalps live, but I discuss them live when I enter, when I exit in the server. But my thing is not necessarily about posting trades live. It's about teaching live and teaching other people how to fish, how to do this stuff. I get much more pride out of someone doing this stuff by themselves without me hand holding them. And sometimes a lot of people don't like that, and I get it, but that's the nature of the game. Just to hit my volume alert for the day, moving up. All right, here we go. Here's another test of the iceberg. 549. It's not coming off of it. 557, 62, 90, 603. This may be it right here. This may be it. Yeah, this is it. Here we go. 700 and Paparoni. Here's a volume building right here. We have a volume spike. Here's 1,000. I'm going to bring up my order form to scale out and get ready. Pumping, bam, blowing through it. There we go. On down to 44.80, and I'm taking some profit off right there. Yahtzee, 100%. All right, so there's 44.80. That's going to be the weekly lows. We just drilled right on through there. We filled 1,000 icebergs right through it, and I've scaled out of positions right there. That'd be about 100%. Now, how nowhere's going to go? I've got the rest of my orders open, so I'm going to leave some runners on here. I took some profits off. I don't know at this point. We've already taken out weekly lows. So far, we don't have a bottom wick. I'm not going to get crazy here because I don't know what's going to happen here. We just took out a major level. They are shifting liquidity down to 44.70. They've got 44.75, 44.72, and coming on down. CVD is still building more red, 23,000. We've got 1,000 iceberg just hit, which is one of the largest ones of the day. We're still falling over, and that's a pretty big move. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more profit here. And now I'm going to leave on about 2 contracts. Let me see. What do I want to do here? There's more. I think I'm going to take most of my risk off and kind of leave some runners on for my little boom, which is exactly what I've done. So I'm leaving 2 contracts on for this move to see if we do get a crazy runaway train here to the downside. But now that we've taken out weekly lows, we have to adjust to it. Do I ever sell monthly strangles on the indexes? I sell weekly spreads right now, and I'm going to be doing some diagonals here shortly. I haven't sold any spreads in the past 2 weeks just because of the volatility of the market. I've been expecting it. I'm glad I didn't. It's just I've got a lot to focus on here. You have to remember, it's in addition to my trading duties, I have to do all the admin stuff with the server. So I don't, my situational awareness is sometimes can be impaired if I'm being hammered on a spread. So the past 2 weeks I haven't done a spread. I've strictly been playing long contracts in futures. But still coming on down here. We have more more liquidity, no more icebergs. But look what's happened. Now, in addition to breaking this, we have a lot more liquidity coming in. You see 44.70 was bolstered. We've got 44.72 at 44. Hold on, I need to post my exits too. I need to post my exits. More icebergs down here, 44.91 or liquidity. Coming on down, coming on down. Wouldn't enter retest, so. Being patient, nice. Real-time teaching is for sure great, but receiving message notifications when the trades will be much better. Something. I did that on this last video, or last trade. I mean, I posted as fast as I could, but you know that thing moves pretty quickly. So, yeah. Let's see what we got. $44.81. Now, we've taken out weekly lows, we've taken out daily, pre-market, all that kind of stuff. All bets are off right now. You know, obviously this is a very strong day. I don't know where this thing's going to finish out. We still have 2 hours and 15 minutes left. We have the main 445 pivot on SPY, which I would not. It's safe to say that we could see a decent rally off 445. Now we just got down to 445. What was it? What was the low there? 11. So 445.11 is the max gex right here. So as dealers are now starting to flip into the long delta territory with this big in the money put contracts, they could start to buy this thing and have a crazy rally into Bell as one. They close puts as dealers, as the retail starts to close out long puts and dealers start to do the opposite trade to close out theirs, not to mention buy the underlying to come back to hedge. We could see that rally off of 445 SPY. That's why I'm saying, you know, that 445 we said earlier, we could see a bounce off of it. We just got to 445.11 before a nice little bounce. Does that make sense? Why is 445 not the weekly low on SPY? Right here it is, 44496, almost there. So we didn't get weekly low on SPY, but we did hit that 445 gex. Look at that. I'm almost to the point now where I'm starting to do just mindless mechanical trading based on system, almost 3x my daily goal because of it. Man, that's incredible. That right there, money in the bank, dude. Incredible. What, you just shorten puts at the lows and calls at the highs? Yeah, unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. Love it. Love it. Did anybody benefit off of the trade there in the server? I know I wasn't on the stream yet when I took that trade, so I'm most likely not on the YouTube stream, but or any about the commentary. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to talk through my entire process here. How can you get into the Bookmap Discord? Can you invite me? The Bookmap Discord? Yeah, I'll show you. I'll send you the link here. Let me see. Create invite, copy, paste. There you go. How you doing? Good to see you. How's your mother? I know it's not right, but I played a very big position out of this major bounce level and it paid well. Almost killed me for 4 minutes. You talking about a call? You took a scalp call when you scaled out. Nice HPNO. I love it. Nice. So if you're looking, let me show you this. Max Gex right now. Un momento, por favor. $445. This is the exact sentiment of Friday, last Friday. Last Friday, I said, once we tap 445, we are going to have a aggressive and volatile sell-off. What happened at 453? I'm sorry, 453. We tapped 453.9, aggressive sell-off. Today, we're looking at 445. We just tapped what? 443, 445, and 11? Yeah, 445, 11. And already an aggressive bounce. Let's see if it can hold, though. That's why I elected to scale out. Now, I've still got these runners on. I need to close out, which is fine. And I've already destroyed the position, so I'm good to go. Destroyed it in a good way, that is. I took a short of the touch at ADMA because we had no buy volume, seeing how it plays out. Nice. You talking about it at 12:45? Low may be in for the day. Aside from some crazy power hour shenanigans, Spider-Man, I am inclined to agree with you. Hey, what's that place that they have all the crazy stuff on the wall? Shenanigans? It's a great movie. Sorry. Movie reference. $40.47. I don't want a large farva. I want a liter of cola. See, now they're stacking liquidity a little bit up. $44.97. We have $44.75. Currently have runners on that I'm about to close out. Done with these guys. I'm out. See ya. Closed. So 444 is a big magnet. I'd say 445 is a big magnet. 445. Took puts in the morning and was getting my butt kicked till we finally turned. Now I'm getting out of my nice flush runners. Nice, Michael. That's my third play on the day, man. It's been pretty nice. It's been a pretty good day. I didn't catch the whole move, but all I need is 3. In this case, I had 3 pieces of pie today, so I'm a little full. I caught 3 pieces in my pie. Still figuring out how to read Gex. Here's what I want. Here's the takeaway. Here's the takeaway. Look at that chart right there. Do you see that white line, the aggregate Gex? What happens to the Gex at 445? What does that white line do? And I'm trying to think critical here. I'm trying to teach y'all critical thinking in terms of this stuff. It's not simply about the red and green bars. The red and green bars is simply quantity. But it's a dance between understanding where the Gex is, which is the quantity of green, red, and what happens to the Gex at those levels. What happens to that white squiggly line at 445? It crosses over into negative. You're taking too long to type. I'll tell you, it crosses over into the negative. So anything below 445 is positive Gex. It flips to positive Gex on that expiration. Above 4045, we have negative Gex. So what that tells me is that knowing what we talked about on the dealers hedging, whereas when dealers are hedging on the downside, they are short puts, long calls, which is a positive delta, and they need to short the opportunity. They need to short the underlying to come back to negative, to neutral delta. At some point, with all the downtrending action, at some point, the delta starts flipping negative, and it's when the Gex flips positive right there that they have to start buying the underlying to not hedge back to neutral. Now it's a little bit at first, and then it picks up steam. Because what happens to short puts, long calls, as you go deep in the money or out of the money for the long calls? The deltas drop. The deltas start to weaken to the point where now they're negative delta, and now they need to start buying to hedge. That's why the overarching theme that I'm trying to explain here is that Gex line right there. That Gex line, you have to notate when it goes long, when it goes short. That's why I'm posting them at the end of every day so you can see the fluctuations in the Gex. Where it flips positive, where it flips negative. When are dealers stacked short Gex or stacked long Gex? I don't expect you to understand this in one session. That level setting lesson is so good. Every major level I have been indicating a bounce either up, down, yeah, that's right, Demontis. Definitely. How can I learn more about order flow? Also, you know what the free Bookmap offers. So the free Bookmap is in TOS. And it offers just a basic level of, I've never used it, I will say this, so I'm kind of speaking out of my hind parts here. But if my understanding, it's free on TOS, and you can only look at ES, and you can't have any add-ons. So that's the downside. I use Bookmap so much, like I would not get any value out of the free level because I have to be able to look at icebergs. I mean, look at that right there. Look at that trade I just took looking at that iceberg. I would not be able to do that right here, what I just did on the free software. So for me, if you want to learn more about it, I have a Bookmap video that's entry level. Bookmap has a ton of resources. There's a ton of resources out on the web anyway you can look at. Is it algos or what that major SPX and NASDAQ levels match with major stock levels? Well, it is algorithms and it's not algorithms, because you have to realize there's not a jabroni sitting here mashing a mouse trying to hedge dynamically. Gex is a dynamic, or not Gex, Gamma is a dynamic Greek. So what is Gex? Gex is a derivative of delta. Delta is the rate of change, or is not the rate. Delta is the amount that your premiums change given one point movement in the underlying. Gex is your rate of change of delta. So your gamma is your acceleration. It's very, very dynamic. So you can't sit. I mean, the market makers, the dealers are dynamically hedging, and they're using computers to do that. So it's constantly hedging deck to zero because they don't want to put risk on. And that's why these moves happen erratically. And when we are in waterfall mode, we don't get any buy-ups because right now they are shorting into this move until we get to a certain point where they need to start flipping the script. This is why we always get the Friday rebound recoveries. It's not because it's Friday, it's time to buy. It's because of hedging, dynamic hedging. It always happens on Fridays. Nice, Gunnar. I currently have no positions on them flat, so I need to look for the next position here. But this short off morning low so far is beautiful. Beautiful. I'm actually a little aggravated. I didn't get more than 100%. I got just a touch over the 100%. It does look like I want to keep going down. That bounce right there failed immediately. So strong downtrend so far. Love it. So next on deck, 44.75, 44.72, and it's not even 2 o'clock yet. Like, it's not even power hour yet. It's crazy. 3 o'clock Eastern. How are you still confident to get in after the retest of the morning low, even though there's a large bottom wick before? Because I know the pressure at that level. And not to mention VPA. Top wick right off of it, strong confidence. All right, push low, new low of the day, 44.73, coming on down. And now I'm regretting closing my puts. Just took out the 44.74. We've got 44.70, 25,000 CVD negative. And look at that thing, just the CVD's piling down. We have no liquidity higher. We have 44.74 eaten up. We have no icebergs on, but it's just steamrolling through everything. Absolute destruction. We're now down, what, 70 points from highs? Coming on down. $44.74, we've got, let's see, right through there. NASDAQ is eating through that major level, down to 415, 420. SPY just tapped through 445. $15,100. They took off whatever thing they stacked up there at 44.95, and we have this guy. So I would probably say good confidence we eat up through this 44.70 now. That is coming up on the top of the hour, so I will have to wrap up the stream on Bookmap. With this kind of action, though, I'll probably jump back over on the server, though, and continue the stream here, because this thing's moving aggressively. See if we can put something else on. Apple still downtrending. Now, we started the day with everything green. Now, most everything is red. The only thing green now is Tesla and healthcare. On down. Why not stay? I can't. I'm on a schedule with Bookmap, so I have to wrap it up at the top of the hour. We do. I'm only allotted 1 hour with Bookmap stream. Yeah, buddy. Alrighty. Still coming down. Why all the selling, and will it stop next week? Well, the problem here is that we're all, the last kind of nail in the coffin was CPI. That's the last thing we were waiting on. We had big tech earnings and then CPI. CPI posted bad today. I think it caught a lot of people off guard because all they were looking for was the yearly, which did post beat what it did beat, but this is the first time that CPI has now gone up month over month since it's like the 9.1 posting last June. And the market is not liking that. So, all right, that is top of the hour. I'm going to have to call it a day. Thanks for hanging out with the Bookmap stream. Please like the video here if you like that, and subscribe to the channel, of course. You can learn a little bit more about how we used Bookmap, how we used VPA, and, of course, the levels. So, appreciate you being here. Let me know if you have any questions. Until next week at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, I'm out. See ya!